Tell it all, tell it all, tell it all.
What's going on, everyone? We are back with another episode of Chasing the Music. Shout out to the Wildflower Collective for making this mini interview series possible. And today, oh, y'all, we got someone special, okay? We have Miss Dana Rice. She's a singer, songwriter, piano player, music educator, music teacher, vocal coach, piano teacher. She does all of the things, entrepreneurship, all of the things, and we are so excited to have her here. So Dana, would you like to introduce yourself?
I don't know how I can come back with what you just
Oh,
said.
well,
Everybody, I'm Dana Rice. I introduced myself in order to help you remember me. So you like white rice, spicy rice, brown rice, wild rice? Here I go. I'm just a jambalaya of all the things.
I love that. I love that. So tell us, like, where are you from, and what do you like? What is your main passion? Because you have done so many, and you're currently still doing them. So, like, where are you from, and like, what are your main passions?
I'm based in Atlanta, but I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I like to say that I'm from a place that everybody wants to kind of drive through and they say, yeah, I've been through Mississippi. I didn't stop. Um, but and I get it, but it's where I'm from and it's where great things and great people come from. So there's that. My passion is big dreams, encouraging others to dream big and then dream bigger, and to believe in yourself and be as creative as you can be.
We love that. We love creativity over here, so I'm glad that you said that. So one question that I always ask people when I'm doing these interviews is, how did we meet? And so it's really like, I guess from my perspective, it's really easy. We met through this organization called Women in Music. Um, but what was it like meeting me in person? For me, it's been amazing. Like every time I see Dana, y'all, I'm like, oh my God, I get to be with Dana. So I always love it. She has been an inspiration to me as well as a mentor. So I'm super thankful. But I'm gonna let you tell your perspective from that.
Oh, well, yes, like you said, we met through Women in Music. They have a like an email thing that gets sent out to the membership, and I remember seeing a message from you that said, "Hey, I'm in Atlanta. I want to get connected,
Mm.
and if you're near there." And I said, yeah, why not? Let's just go do it. And I think that nothing is a mistake or happenstance because there's so many emails that come through that message.
Mm.
Half of them I don't even see. And so I happened to be looking at it that day and I saw your message and I said, well, I'm gonna, send an email back. And you got back with me. And it was like from Zoom to we were on there for a while
Yeah.
and I didn't really know, how we would work together or even if we would, but I was doing what I do. Okay, so I love to
Right.
help people with their big dreams. Hey, this is what I know about and you can go try it out. And then when we got a chance to meet in person, it was just like a seal of the connection.
Yeah.
And I have been inspired ever since. And just the way we met, you're somebody who takes initiative. And I've seen that consistently in you over the years. So I'm so thankful for, that happening.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. See y'all, Dana is so sweet. We love her. So this is one of my favorite questions. What are some of your biggest influences that have shaped your unique sound?
Ooh, you talking about artists or just life?
Anything, artists, or it could be like a specific person that was a mentor, and maybe like wasn't like a singer, or maybe an experience you had, just like your biggest influence that have had that has shaped like your unique sound in music or some of your entrepreneurial passions.
Okay. I think when anybody listens to my music, they're hearing a blend of gospel, a blend of jazz, a blend of soul. And I would say that comes from my upbringing. You know, I grew up in a home, a family, a large extended family, where there's a range of aunts and uncles, and some were very close to my own age. And, you know, so I listened to the music they listened to. You know, a lot of Motown, you know, a lot of soul and R&B. And so, and then we were, you know, heavily involved in church. So the gospel music is there. And, you know, along the way, you know, through going to school and other things, got into jazz, and you got your Sarah Vaughan's and, you know, all the greats. And so I don't just pick one thing off the tree. It's like, I want this one and I want this one and I want this one. So it's just a jambalaya of things. Um, my sound is from my community.
Mm,
So it's the environment that surrounded me and hugged me. And that's the voice that I have.
I love that. Yeah, I like how you said it's a jambalaya of things. It's almost like you have blended and combined like all of your different influences and experiences into your music. And so when people listen, they can really, like you said, hear that coming out. I love music that's like maybe it's categorized as one genre, but I can clearly hear that there's, it's not strictly just traditional gospel. Like it's not just strictly traditional neo soul or funk. It's like a blend of so many different things to create, like, because you're a person and people don't just have one strict experience their whole life. So they have totally different things. So I love when I can hear that from artists. That's amazing. What moment did you realize that you wanted to be a full-time creative? Like what moment was it for you where you were like, you know what? This is something I'm really passionate about and I want to try to pursue this forever. I want to try to like do this full time. Like what did that moment look like for you?
I want to say there was a defining moment and then a lot of moments that reinforced or called me back to the original moment. I remember being just a little girl and seeing this black woman on TV, and she was singing this "Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand" song, Diana Ross. And you know, the people in her audience were feeling it, and you could see them crying. And then now she was crying with them, and then I was crying. And I was like, oh gosh, this is so powerful. And I didn't even really know what that was, but I knew that I wanted to be able to give people that type of experience. And I wanted to have it for myself too. So that was the child in me. And we grow and we go through life, and then there's so many things that tell you who to be and what to be. So as a teenager, I found myself, I mean, I had done music all along,
Hmm.
but when it was time to go to college, I found myself hearing so many voices of well-meaning people who love and care for me saying, you need to go into something that's very stable, that's going to bring you a great income. And music was never part of their thought for that. So I found myself in a major of chemistry in college. And at first I was like, oh yeah, I love a challenge, you know, and because I like to solve problems and things. It was great, but it didn't give me that same feeling that the little girl in me had when I saw Diana Ross on the screen. So I stuck with it though, because I wanted to complete my degree.
Hmm.
And when I got out, now in the meantime, I was on campus singing at night. So I was in the lab during the day, and then at night I was on campus singing. And I said, you know, when I graduate, I'm doing something different. And I did. I worked in chemistry for a brief time, and but the music kept calling. And eventually I said, you know what? I can only be myself.
Right.
And so thankfully I have, supportive family and, it was like, okay, go ahead and do what you do. And so here I am so many years later and still plugging away at it. And I'm happy.
I love that. That was a beautiful story. Yeah. I like how you brought out like satisfying your inner child because I feel like a lot of times like I was saying this to someone else like I think as young children we know what we want to do. We may not have like the language or like the blueprint or the process to get there at such a young age, but I feel like we kind of we feel our calling early on, but I think as we grow like we have other influences from the world that tell us different. Um and so we're constantly as we become adults we're constantly trying to like figure out what we want to do, but it's really there all along. Like it may not be concrete because again, we may not have had the language throughout the process of growing. But I like how you like kept coming back to fulfilling your inner child's desires. That was your calling. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. Similar, I have been singing since I was around 8. But I stopped singing in college. So when I started singing again after college, I had to like relearn and kind of like retrain my voice in some instances because there were, a lot of things that I had forgot how to do or that I was out of practice of doing. So yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges you think being an independent artist and trying to be creative full time? What do you think are the challenges in trying to pursue that?
I think the biggest and most important challenge is yourself.
Mm,
We spend a lot of time of our lives trying to get permission from others when really we have to give ourselves permission. And that's all that counts. Once we give ourselves permission, everything falls into place. And I have found personally that that giving of permission to myself is something that I don't have to do just one time. I have to do it again and again and again because there's so many voices in my head sometimes that maybe want to tell me no, you can't do this because blah 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 or whatever. So I have to give myself permission again. um I really think that you're your only yes or no,
mm,
and because you can give your yes over to someone else, but that's still you giving it to them for them to tell you no. So just tell yourself yes. That's what and I think surrounding yourself with people and knowing that you don't have to be one thing. That's the beauty of music and creativity. It's not one thing. And so, whereas other fields may be like so set into one thing, creativity really doesn't have any boundaries. So allow yourself to explore, the different things. It's not just music. Music is lyrics, and music is beats, and it's
mm.
sounds, it's all the things, it's visual. And so explore all of it. And so I think the other challenge might be overwhelm. So like how do you balance and how do you choose what to do and when to do those things?
Beautiful answer. That's
And
a
I don't have the answer.
no, that was beautiful. I like when you said you have to be able to give yourself permission and not wait on somebody else's permission. I think that that's beautiful. Um, so you really answered the next question, which was what advice would you tell someone who's trying to become a full-time creative? But would you like to add anything to that answer? Or would you just like to keep it with the permission piece?
No, I'll add it. I'll say number one, have the courage to do it. Um, it takes courage, but if you think about other industries that may not be music, for instance, I think about hair care. Um, the hairdresser doesn't know who's coming or when until they call, but they got their booth open and they just believe that someone's going to call, and we do.
We do.
So
Yes.
the same thing will happen with our music. It's just we have to put ourselves out there. Now, I also say, in putting ourselves out there, you gotta, be kind of strategic. So it's not a every 2 weeks you get paid this certain amount. That's not this type of life. So because I know that, I can't spend in the same ways. So, saving does have to be a priority because you just don't know when these resources are going to come together. So I would say be mindful. It's not just oh, just run out there and be crazy, but we have to prepare for the life we want.
Right, right. Beautiful, beautiful. So that is the last question. Well, kind of. My final question is, do you have any song recommendations? And don't be afraid to shameless plug. Don't be afraid to give us anything that's yours. We love exploring over here in the Wildflower Collective. So, any song recommendations that you want us to check out?
Of course, I'm gonna say, you just Dana Rice music on Spotify,
Period,
all the
period.
places, you're gonna find something that's gonna soothe your soul. I would highly recommend Affirmations. I think you can see it's the pink one up there. The first track is called Love Me, and it's probably like a minute long. But if you start your day with loving yourself, and in the middle of the day, remind yourself to love yourself. And at the end of the day, love yourself. You'll see the change in your life. And so I would say surround yourself with great music. I love so many different artists. I hate to start naming any. I'm scared. Right now I'm listening to John Batiste. Um, his new album, I don't even remember what it's called, but he's taken a lot of classical music and you know, re revamping it. There's some jazz that he's throwing in there, a little funk, so I think that's really cool to listen to. And then you don't have the word, there's no words, so you can just kind of go with how it makes you feel inside. I'm gonna stay right there because, honey, I
We
can't
can go for
choose.
days. No, that's beautiful. I've seen John Baptiste a couple times um, at some different award shows or different clips I've seen online. Incredibly talented. So I'll definitely have to check out that album, that project as well. But yes, we are at the end. Dana, we want to thank you. I want to thank you for sharing this time with us, sharing this space with us. Your interview felt like church, so amen. I love that. Definitely gave us some gems that we can take as creatives, but also as just regular people in our daily lives. So we appreciate you for that. Oh, wait, sorry. I just thought about something. Can you tell us about Big Dreams? What is Big Dreams? We want to know. Before you go, please tell us about Big Dreams.
Oh, Big Dreams, yes. Big Dreams is an annual showcase that I started over 12 years ago. And it's highlighting up and coming young people. And they get to perform with professionals. And they get to share what their big dreams are. We were so excited that a couple of years ago you were our guest artist, and people are still talking about how
Ah,
wonderfully they enjoyed the performance. Yes, I perform at Big Dreams because the whole idea is for um, people who are studying music, so young people, students, like children and youth, to know that you don't have to wait for your dreams, and your dreams do matter. So you might be young, but the dream in you is old
mm,
because God dreamed it. God dreamed it, and that's why you're here. So, Big Dreams is an annual showcase. It started in Atlanta, and now it has gone international. We have Big Dreams in Costa Rica, and we are going to some other areas as well. So, if you go and look at DanaRiceMusic.com or just Dana Rice and Big Dreams, all the information will come out. We are in constantly in a Big Dreams season. So there's always going to be some info out there. So just, use the tools, look us up. If you want to contribute to Big Dreams, you want to be in Big Dreams, check us out because we're all about those big dreams.
Awesome, awesome. Always dropping gems. A dream in you is old because God put it there because you're here. I love that. I love that. Well, that is it, folks. Once again, shout out to you, Dana, for being here with us and giving us all of your creative energy and your gems of wisdom. We appreciate you for that. And yeah, shout out to the Wildflower Collective again on Patreon for making this interview possible. And we will see y'all on the next episode of Chasing the Music. Peace out, y'all.
Tell that while you're telling it, tell it all, tell